Well, howdy y'all, my name is Randy, aka Banjo Randy, and I'm a totally blind woodworker getting back into my woodworking. When I say totally blind, I mean I have no physical eyesight no more. Now, when I was doing some woodworking, I did have some eyesight. I was what they call high partial then. But back in 2006, I finally lost the sight that I had in my right eye, and then I become totally 100% blind. But I knew that I wanted to get back into my woodworking. Now, a bit of housekeeping. This is an old pair of prescription glasses I used to wear when I could see. I quit wearing glasses completely around 2000 because I couldn't tell a bit of difference with them on or off. My vision was kind of starting to even mess up more back then. But I kept this pair of glasses. In fact, I kept a couple pair that I had. And when I worked at Sears, I took and popped the lenses out of some frames, and I actually used them as magnifying glasses to help me when I was working at Sears. But I wanted to protect my eyes when I got back into woodworking, so that's the only reason why I'm wearing these glasses. In my daily routine, I don't even wear glasses. But I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about how a person like myself that's totally blind with no physical eyesight is able to do woodworking and be able to measure. Now I have two tools right here, measuring devices. This in here is tactile and audible. It's called the click rule. I'll explain this in a little bit. This is a talking tape measure. It's only audible for me. It's a 16-foot tape measure. It measures in the 16th of an inch. Now, on the side of this case, you'll notice that there's 2 rows of buttons. There's a couple buttons at the top and 3 at the bottom. Now, the only buttons that I worry about on this tape measure is the top row, the back one, and the bottom row at the back one, the very last one. Now, this top one, actually the bottom one right here, this is what tells you if you're going to be measuring including the case or not including the case. And the case is 3 3/4 inches long. Let's see if you can hear this.
Including case, 3 3/4 inches.
3 3/4 inches, that's including the case.
Not including case, 0 inches.
Not including case, that's why it reads 0, because now you would be measuring from the front of the inside of the tip here to the front edge of the body of the tape measure. It also cuts off automatically in 5 seconds if you're not using it. Now the top button, let's see what we have right here. I hope y'all can hear this. And this button's a little bit finicky at times. So the top button, like I say, it sets it if it's going to be in metric or imperial.
0 inches. 0 inches, millimeters. 0 millimeters.
Right now it's on millimeters.
0 millimeters, centimeters. 0.0 centimeters.
Centimeters.
0.0 centimeters. Meters. 0.000
Now-
meters.
Now it's on meters.
0.0 feet, inches. 0 inches.
Feet and inches. Excuse me.
0 inches. Inches. 0 inches.
Now it should be set to inches. So I thought I would demonstrate how this sounds right here. Now I'm going to measure this not including the
Turning
case.
off in 5 seconds. Including case, not including case.
All right.
24 1/4 inches.
So this board right here is 24 1/4 inches long. Now
0
let's
inches.
try the width right here.
6 inches.
6 inches.
6 inches. 0 inches.
Now I don't use this tape measure as much as I do the click rule. I like the tape measure because anything over 4 foot that I measure, this tape measure tends to work more better for me. So now I'd like to talk about my click rule. That is what this device is right here, the click rule. And it's not only tactile, but it's audible. Now, like I say, it don't speak, but it's audible because of this right here. Click, 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 click. because you can hear the clicks. That's what makes it audible. Now, what this is a 1/2-inch aluminum tube, and the manufacturer has milled a slot in the top, and at the very front edge of the tube is what is called the fence. You know, it has a front face and a back face, and at the back right here it has the hook. I also refer to this as the stop, but I guess technically it's the hook. But it also has like a front and back face, but I only reference from the front face as well as the fence. Now, from the front face of the fence right here to the front face of the hook is exactly 6 inches. So that's a given. That's a given point for me right there. Now, inside this here tube is a 3/8 inch threaded rod, which has 16 threads per inch. And the way this works, well, also on the top of the threaded rod, there is a thumb screw here, and there is a spring-loaded ball bearing in here. And that's what gives it that click sound. Click, 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 click. As it clicks, I guess, in between these threads somehow. But right now, it is zeroed out at 0. So I'm going to let you hear this up to the first 1/2-inch mark. There's 1/16, 1/16, 2/16 or 1/8, 3/16, 4/16 or 1/4, 5/16, 6/16 or 3/8, 7/16, 8/16 or 1/2 inch. There's also a raised thread right here. Now what the manufacturer done on this threaded rod is on the back side they milled this rod completely flat. Now, excuse me, on this front side what they done was they milled every 7 inches flat, and they left, every 7/16 of an inch, I'm sorry. They milled this flat, and they left the 8th thread raised. And what this is a quick reference point. So there are 12 raised threads left on here. If you open this all the way up to the last thread, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So from the front end of this here threaded rod, which is also called the information rod, from the very front right here to the front face of this fence is also 6 inches. So that means that I have right now, with it fully extended to the last raised thread, the 12th thread, from the front edge here to the front face of the hook is exactly 12 inches. Now how you read with this click rule is you use either your fingernail or thumbnail. I prefer my thumbnail. So if we had this, like right now I know that that's a 1/2 inch, because right there at the very first raised thread, that's 8/16 of an inch or 1/2 inch. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just as your thumbnail, whatever thread, your thumbnail can fit between that thread, whether it's the raised thread or the threads on the side, to the front face of this fence, that's what you read that by. So right now it's at a 1/2 inch. Now if I was going to measure something like this right here, of course I wouldn't be using the hook end, I'd have to use the fence, the front face of the fence. So I just simply open this up, set the fence up against the edge of the material, and I always try to bring it out a little farther, and then I'll push it back right there till it's even, lock it down, and the first thing I do is try to find out how many raised threads are there. So we have 2 raised threads, so that means up to this point right here we have 1 inch. So then I'm going to take my thumbnail and measure, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know that this right here piece of wood is 1 3/8 inches wide. Now, if I wanted to measure this right here piece of wood as far as the width, make sure those things don't roll off. Excuse me. Okay, I know that I'm going to use from the hook end right now. So I'll bring this out, set this on here, bring this back, so that's just flush, lock it down. Now I know that we have, like I say, from the hook end, from the front face of this hook to the end of the fence, we have 6 inches. So we go 6, 6 1/2, 7, 7 1/2, and then I'll put my thumb just on the back side of that raised thread, and we'll count the remainder of the threads up to the fence. So we've got 6, 6 1/2, 7, 7 1/2, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 7 11/16 right here. Because again, this is 6 inches from the front face of the fence to the front face of the hook. So then 6 1/2, 7, 7 1/2. So we go 9, 10, 11. So that's 7 11/16. Now this clip rule right here at the end has a hole in it that's threaded, and it accepts a 1032 bolt or pin, threaded pin. Now this clip rule right here came with 3 1-foot extensions or 12-inch extensions. I'm going to demonstrate one of these. This is what the extensions are like right here. Now these extensions also at each end has a threaded hole, and at one end there is a pin in here that's threaded with 1032 threads. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this here, and we got to be careful when I do this so that I don't cross thread it. Put this here, and you just tighten it up just to where it's snug up against the fence. So right now we know that from the end of this extension rod to the front face of this fence is 12 inches. Now we already know that from the front face of the fence to the front face of the hook is 6 inches. So therefore right now we have 18 inches. So now if we take and extend this all the way out to the last raised thread, or the 12th thread, and lock it down, now we know that from the end of the extension rod to the front face of this hook, we have exactly 24 inches. And that's what that right there is, 24 inches long. I already know how long this was anyway. Now, let's do something else here. Let's just measure the width of these 2 boards right here. Move that over a little bit more. Now it's obvious we're not going to use the hook end. So what we would do is we would take the front face of the fence right here and we'd set it up against the edge of the board, slide this here out, bring it back to where it's just flush, right there. Tighten it down. So right now we know that we have 12 inches up to this point right here. Then we got 12 1/2, 13, 13 1/2, 14, 14 1/2, 15, 15 1/2, so we've got 15 7/8 inches right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's, again, that's 12, 12 and a half, 13, 13 and a half, 14, 14 and a half, 15, 15 and a half. So that means it's 15 and 8/16, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15 and 7/8. Now, with all three of these extensions attached to the end of this click rule, and the click rule fully extended, I can measure up to 48 inches in length. Now, some of these manufacturers of these click rules make also 6-inch extensions, which I don't have any of those. Now, I've heard of people putting 5 and 6 of these extension rods on their click rule and measuring with them. But that, like I say, that's why I prefer the tape measure, anything over 4 foot, because no pun intended, but it's not as unruly that way, at least not for me. There we go. Well, I certainly hope that this video somehow helped to explain to the sighted world how somebody that's totally blind like myself is able to do woodworking, and especially doing measuring. Now, I know that these tools only measure up to the 1/16 of an inch, but that's usually about all that I ever, have any need of, really. Now, they do make another talking tape measure. It is called the Tape King. Both of these are very expensive, but I got this one because it was less expensive of the two. Now, I've never used the Tape King, so I don't really know nothing about it, but I do hear from other people that it's better in quality, but it is what it is. I'm just thankful that we have the technology that we have, for me as a blind person to even be able to still do woodworking. Now, I'm gonna walk up here, and hopefully y'all can get a better view. Yeah, I'm just kind of giving myself a reference point, y'all, where hopefully I'll be in front of the camera. I don't know if y'all can see these perforated holes or not. Hopefully I'm in view. Somehow this tape measure reads from those holes. Maybe you can see it from the back side as well, right there. Right now, without it not talking, I don't know what it is, the measurement. Now, the click rule, hopefully y'all will get a better view of these raised threads. Hopefully, I got to be careful because my tripod I use, y'all, is not very heavy, and it's easily moved if I bump it. Now, hopefully y'all can see those raised threads right there. Like I say, each one of these raised threads on the top right here represents a 1/2 inch. And with this fully extended to the last raised thread and locked, you have 6 inches, again, from the end of the information rod to the front face of the fence right here, 6 inches. Again, from the front face of the fence to the front face of the hook is another 6 inches. So from the end of the information rod to the front face of the hook right now, we have 12 inches. Well, I certainly hope that I was able to kind of bring some insight to the sighted world, how people like me that are totally blind are able to do woodworking. I just want to say to anybody out there that may be watching or listening to this video, if you have a disability, no matter what it is, I say never ever give up on your hopes and dreams, because there are things that we can do. But anyway, I hope again that this video was informative, and to all of us who like to do woodworking, let's always be alert in the shop, wear the proper safety equipment like eye safety, hearing protection, and let's just be alert to your surroundings while you're working. And I do hope that everybody has a wonderful and blessed day, and y'all folks keep smiling, and Y'all have a good one. Now, if you'll stick around for just a few more seconds, I'll let y'all hear a voiceover. Because I've had some people ask, if you're blind, how do you know what these posts and stuff read? Well, it's because of this right here, y'all.
Stop recording video. Button.
That says stop recording video.
Stop recording video. Take picture. Button.
Take picture button.
Viewfinder. Image.
Viewfinder.
Double tap and hold to adjust exposure.
So my phone reads, it
Adult.
uses
Clothing.
what's
Eyeglasses.
known as
0 hours. 31 minutes and
voiceover.
16 seconds.
So I hope that again, has been a blessing to y'all folks. Y'all take care and keep smiling. Blessings.